This is Mike Lingle from Rocket Pro Forma, and today we're going to talk about pricing your product or service for your startup. So the first thing to keep in mind, and you hear this all the time, is aim for an LTV that's at least 3 times your CAC. And that doesn't make sense to anyone, so we're going to break that down and make it easier to understand. So LTV is your lifetime value of each customer. So when you bring a customer in, they make an initial purchase, but they also can make ongoing purchases. So they may buy more products or services for you. They may become repeat customers. They may buy a subscription. You may sell them a t-shirt in addition to your service. There's all kinds of ways you can continue to monetize that customer. And the CAC is the customer acquisition cost. So this is what it costs you to acquire that customer. So what we're saying is the lifetime value of the customer should be at least 3 times the cost of acquiring that customer. And that allows you to build a successful business. In theory, this is at least the rule of thumb. So we'll do a little bit of math here. If the lifetime value is $90 and the cost to acquire that customer is $100, you can already see we're in trouble. We're going to lose $10 over the lifetime of that customer. So in that case, we're at a negative 0.1 lifetime value to CAC ratio. So that's no good. So let's try another example. So in this case, it's going to be $110 of lifetime value. It's $100 to acquire the customer. So we're making $10, but that doesn't leave us enough money to actually run the business. We've spent most of the revenue from that customer on acquiring the customer. So again, we're only at a 0.1 CAC ratio. In the third example, we're going to make $360 off of that same customer that we acquired for $100. So now we're in the right range. The lifetime value is 3.6 times the customer acquisition cost. So this is a much healthier zone for us to be in. So let's run through some examples. If we look at a transaction business, like Starbucks, for example, we have an initial purchase. So that is a plus in the lifetime value column. We have repeat purchases. So a lot of people go back to Starbucks over and over again. And you can see in the picture here with Uber Eats, I can even order Starbucks to my office or my house. Plus you have upsells. We buy mugs, we buy coffee. There's all kinds of other things that Starbucks is able to sell us. But the one thing with the true calculation of lifetime value is you have to subtract out the cost of goods sold. I talk about cost of goods sold in another video, but basically that's the cost to produce the product. So if I'm buying a bag of coffee, it's the cost of the coffee and the bag and putting the coffee inside the bag, and probably getting the coffee to the Starbucks location where you purchase it from. So you have to subtract that cost out, and that leaves you money to pay the operating expenses. So if we look at a subscription business, you have the subscription, which could be a monthly or annual. So let's say it's Netflix and I'm paying monthly, times the lifespan. So how many months or years am I going to hang around on Netflix? So let's say I hang around for 3 years. Netflix is making that monthly subscription off of me for 3 years, right? Plus whatever upsells. Now, Netflix is not great at upsells. There are other companies, other subscription companies that are much better at upsells. Like if you think about Amazon Prime, for example, Amazon Prime is a subscription service. So I subscribe to Amazon Prime. I get videos, kind of like Netflix, but I also get free shipping. So the upsell is all of the stuff I buy on Amazon because I'm a Prime subscriber and I get that free shipping. That's actually an upsell, right? All of those e-commerce transactions allow Amazon to continue to monetize me and increase my lifetime value. And then again, we subtract out the cost of goods sold. So it could be the cost of delivering the service, which in Netflix's case is the hosting and server costs, which are substantial. In Amazon's case, it's the hosting and service costs for Prime, for all those videos and other stuff they offer with Prime. But it's also the cost of the inventory for all of the e-commerce transactions that I'm doing. So that's lifetime value. Those are a couple examples. So let's now look at the cost to acquire a customer. So in this case, we're talking about all the sales and marketing costs per period divided by the number of new customers we acquire in that period. That's kind of a global view that allows me to look at all of my sales and marketing spend. So in this case, let's say I'm spending $1,000 on sales and marketing per month, and that's delivering 100 new customers. So do the math quickly in your head. That is a customer acquisition cost of $10 per customer, right? Now, if I spend that same $1,000 in sales and marketing per month, and I only acquire 5 new customers, now my cost to acquire a customer is $200. So you can see, depending on how easy it is and how expensive it is for you to acquire customers, your cost of customer acquisition costs can change dramatically, and that also changes its ratio to the lifetime value of your customer. So with a $200 customer, I either need to charge more upfront, or I need to figure out a way to monetize that customer over their lifetime. And just be a little careful, because if I pay $200 and I don't make that $200 back for a year, that's going to be a really expensive business because I'm carrying the costs of all of those customers I've acquired. I may not have enough money to acquire a lot of customers at $200 each, versus if I can acquire a bunch of customers at $10 each and make that money back really quickly, that may be a business that I can finance more easily. Or if I can acquire a bunch of customers for $200 and I make that $200 back quickly, that's good too. What we just looked at was the global customer acquisition cost to acquire a customer. But we can also look at the local, which if I run Facebook ads or Google ads, what I'm really looking at is the cost per click. How much does it cost to send someone to my website divided by the conversion rate? So what percent of those people actually buy something when they come to my website? So here's an actual example, here's a theoretical example. If I'm spending $1 per click to send someone to my website, and I have a 2% conversion rate, what is my cost to acquire a customer? Get out the calculator and divide $1 by 0.02, which is 2%. So that gives me a cost to acquire a customer of $50. If I have that same dollar per click and I increase my conversion rate to 3%, so I'm much better, I'm 50% better at converting the customers who come to my site, converting the visitors who come to my site to customers, then my customer acquisition cost drops substantially to only $33.33. So if you can make your website more appealing, if you can do a better job at selling, also if you can drop the per click cost, these will have dramatic impacts on your cost to acquire a customer and can make your business much more profitable. Okay, so a lot of times when people are putting together financial models, they say, I don't know what my customer acquisition cost is. I feel like I'm making numbers up. So I spent $70 on Facebook to try to answer this question. And this was for Rocket Proforma, so I was able to sell. And what I did was run a bunch of ads. And you can see these were to different audiences. You can see the amount I spent, which is around $70 total for these 5 categories. You can see the result I got in link clicks, and you can see the cost per click. Right? So it's somewhere between 54 cents and 81 cents per click. And then you can see the conversion ratio. I just did week by week, and you can see the conversion ratio on the site. So I'm averaging about 4% conversion ratio on the site. So again, we can get out the calculator and divide 65 cents by 4% in order to get the customer acquisition cost. And just remember, it's expensive to acquire new customers. So the more you can hold on to the customers you have and continue to monetize them, this is part of the reason subscription businesses are so attractive, is once you get that customer, hopefully your business is sticky and they hang around for a while and continue to pay you money, thereby increasing their lifetime value, thereby allowing you to make the money back that you spent to acquire them. And again, be very conscious of time. If you're spending $200, $300, $1,000 to acquire each customer, make that money back as quickly as possible, because that's money you actually have to spend, right? If I spent that $1,000, that money is out of my bank account. And again, if it takes me 2 years to make that $1,000 back, I can go to business before I make that money back if I'm trying to acquire a bunch of customers. So just be aware of time. And remember that recurring revenue and upsells are your friends. So constantly look for ways to monetize your customers. This is why selling data has become so popular, right? If I build an app and my customers are paying me to use the app, maybe I have an in-game subscription or in-game purchases, I can also make more money off of those customers by selling their data on the back end. So that's why this has become so popular. So check out rocketproforma.com/resources. I have all kinds of free templates and goodies for you. I also have a fully fleshed out financial model if you want to quickly and confidently make your financial projections to impress investors. Check that out. Also check out the next video, check out some more videos, and please subscribe to the channel. Again, this is Mike Lingle from Rocket Proforma. Great to talk to you all. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.